what the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Brother, sister, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praises due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Soul Master's Day, German in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path of those upon whom thou spell thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is heard to be served works to praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. We'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. We have Brother Mustafa and Sister Sharice Ali from Ohio. We have Brother Samori Samad from New York. We have Brother Yusuf Hakeem from Oklahoma. We have Brother Stuart X of Austin, Texas. We have Brother Tony Muhammad from New York. And we have Brother Calvin Shabazz from South Carolina. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Today we like to talk about Bishop Nathaniel, the Jive turkey. Because this week was Thanksgiving, and this brother is actually a Jive turkey. This brother, this week, we see them talking about the first Thanksgiving. The Bible tells you what really happened. These brothers don't want to admit the fact that they copying and stealing from the messenger. So then we also have, this is Bishop Nathaniel explains how he learned the truth. And I purposely screenshotted when his face was blended into the messenger when it was transcendent. He talked about how he came to the nation, and then he had the messenger's picture, because now, since they know ain't nobody gonna say nothing, now they use the messenger's picture when they talking about the Nation of Islam. Because I've been watching Bus Stop Bishop and them for a while. They used to be just like how you dip your toe in the hot tub. You don't just dive in no hot tub. First you put your toe in it to see how hot the hot tub really is before you dive in. So this Jive turkey Bus Stop Bishop, he wasn't just all of a sudden just talking against the messenger, talking against Master Farad Muhammad. He was dipping his toe to see what Muslims was gonna say. So now that Bus Stop Bishop know that Muslims ain't gonna say nothing, now he used the messenger's picture. So this is how much of fake this Jive turkey is. He talks about the messenger like the messenger don't know what he talking about. Then Bus Stop Bishop and the boys they gonna share Muhammad Ali. This says Muhammad Ali, land, jobs, and separation. When did Muhammad Ali teach the black man about land, jobs, and separation? That comes from the messenger. Now we always got to remind the black man, because once again the jive turkey not gonna do it. So we gonna talk about a little bit of history to bring you up to speed to understand why we call Bus Stop Bishop a jive turkey. We're gonna start with, this comes from the June 11th, 1963 Chicago Tribune. And every article that I use, you can go get it on the newspapers.com. At the top of the article, it says Black Muslim seek Negro Nation in the U.S. Because when these fakes, Bus Stop Bishop, copying off the message, the one thing that all of the fakes can do, you can take the teachings and you can add the messenger's teachings to your program. But you tailor it to whatever group you in. If you're a Christian, you take the messenger's teachings and you tailor it to Christianity and you call it Black Liberation Theology. Because all you doing is taking the messenger's teachings and you tailoring it to your thing. Then you got Bus Stop Bishop. He take the teachings of the messenger and he tailors it to the Jew stuff. So he calls it Israel United in Christ. But the one thing that they can't take and tailor, you cannot take and tailor divine guidance. Right. That's the one thing none of them can do. Because when the messenger taught us against Thanksgiving, or any holiday that he taught us against, he taught us that every single thing we do in America is wrong. Not just Thanksgiving, not just Christmas, not just eating hog, not just how we act, how we dress, but he taught us that every single thing that we do in America is wrong. So this is an article from the Chicago Tribune in June 11, 1963. It says, Black Muslims seek Negro Nation in the U.S. It says, this comes from the messenger. The messenger says, by nature, the black man was created good. By nature, the white man was created evil. Therefore, Elijah Muhammad says, the black man must separate himself completely from the white society in the United States. Yes, sir. He said completely. He wasn't just doing like Bus Stop Bishop and them doing when they take the messenger's teachings, but you don't have divine guidance. You just telling the black man what's wrong with Thanksgiving. Every holiday that come up, this no good jive turkey, just tell the black man, okay, when Christmas come, he gonna tell him about Santa Claus. He ain't trying to have no separate nation. He ain't telling the black man to separate completely from the white man, because he does not have divine guidance. All he has is, as a jive turkey, can take the messenger's teachings and tailor it to his nonsense. Right. So let's go on even further with the message. This is under the subtitle, Once Negro Nation. It says one of his basic doctrines. That's what we need to understand about the message. Separation was a basic doctrine. That wasn't something that you had to be in the nation for 10, 15 years to finally figure out. Like, oh, he wanted to separate from. No, everybody knew. So when the white man writing about the messenger, they said this is one of his basic doctrines. Yes. Complete separation. Yes. So it says one of his basic doctrines the autonomous Negro nation has not been fully understood, he says. He explains the two alternatives. It says, first, let us go back where we came from. It says, but if we can't be sent back where we came from, why not do this? He says, let the government set up some territory or a state for ourselves. Help us to produce the necessities that we are not able to produce for ourselves. Give us 20 or 25 years to become self-sufficient. If we don't, it is not the master's, the white man's fault. Then you can come in with your guns and kill us all. That's fair. He said, why don't we do this? Since the black man and the white man can't get along, why don't we do this? Why don't you set up some territory for us? Since we've been here for 400 years, we done made this great heaven for you. It's only fair that you give us a separate territory, then you help us to produce what we can't produce ourselves. Give us 20 or 25 years, and if we can't get on our feet from that, then you come and kill us all. That's the messenger of God.
That's right.
The white man never fulfilled what the messenger said because he's the messenger of God. They wasn't going to help the messenger at all because his plan was the best and only solution for the black man. And when you listen to that, what's wrong with that? That's fair and square. So the messenger goes on. It's another subtitle in this article that's called First Humans Black. The messenger says, Allah God has given to me the only solution to this 400-year-old problem, complete separation. Elijah Muhammad says the original humans were black. Noting that there are white, yellow, brown, red, and black races on earth today, he says. You can get red, yellow, brown, and white from black, but you can't get black from any other color. Black is the number one color. Now, where was all these old jive turkeys at when the messenger was teaching us all of this science? Because what we need to understand, because we could have went back to the 30s, but we don't have to go back that far. We just go back to the 60s. Because when you're doing research, it's easier to get material from the 60s than to go all the way back to the 30s. All of us have computers. All of us got the internet. All we got to do is go on the internet and look who was teaching the black man's history before the messenger. Because what we got to understand is in 1963, there was no black studies department in any college in the country. All we had then was a Negro History Week that all black people didn't even support. But that was all that black people had to study their great past. So you had the Honorable Elijah Muhammad telling the black man that you are the first and the last. He said that there are yellow, brown, red, and white races. He said all of these races come from the black man. He said, but none of these races can produce the black. He said the black is number one. So you got to understand these jive turkeys. They was sitting listening to the message. They wasn't supporting him. They wasn't agreeing with him. They wasn't coming to the meeting. But they was sitting listening to their radio like, you know, Elijah Muhammad on, let's listen to what he got to say today. All these jive turkeys like bus stop Bishop.
Right.
So let's go on even further with the messenger. It's another subtitle in this article that says blacks built civilizations. It says he was taught that Africa originally was known as the East Jungles of Asia. Black Muslims say they are Asiatic. Elijah Muhammad says the original Arabs were black. This in 1963. This 6 years before Ebony magazine came out with the cover talking about Jesus was black. That almost caused Ebony to go out of business. You got 6 years before that, the messenger telling the black man the original Arabs was black. This the messenger of God.
Yes, sir.
So all the jive turkeys, like old bus stop, sitting there listening. Oh man, the original Arabs black. Black man built first because they used to believe in this old spook Bible. Bus stop Bishop now. Because before bus stop Bishop and all these black Hebrew Israelites was listening to the messenger, nobody never challenged the white man on his interpretation.
Right.
Because the Bible is written by a white man named King James. But all the jive turkeys like bus stop bishops say King James was a black man. Why do he say that? He say that because of this hypocrite. We always got to talk about this hypocrite. Allah done struck this hypocrite this week. This hypocrite had another death this week. Another death of somebody close to this hypocrite. Way younger than this hypocrite. Now you might think that I talk about this hypocrite to make fun. No, I don't. The messenger told us that Malcolm is an example for all hypocrites.
Right.
Malcolm dead now. We got a new hypocrite. Louis Eugene.
That's it.
I talk about this hypocrite not only to remind you, but to remind me. Because I don't want to go through what this hypocrite going through. I don't want to be a hypocrite. So we all got to be constantly reminded. We always got to look at this hypocrite because this hypocrite used to be fiery. This hypocrite used to move the crowd, as they say, have them all spellbound. This was Louis Farrakhan. But the messenger said Allah will make us manifest when he please. So the messenger died. The truth that was laying dormant in this hypocrite's heart got some fertilizer. It got the water that it needed to help that seed grow. Less than a year after the messenger was dead, this hypocrite already making fun of the messenger.
Yes, he did.
That's this hypocrite. So the thing that we learn about this hypocrite, we can see with Malcolm, his chastisement was real quick. Malcolm was only alive less than, I think it was 10 months after he got out of the nation. So we see how Allah, if he please, he can get you out of here quick. But with this hypocrite, it's a totally different thing. Allah won't let this hypocrite die. A parent don't want to see their children dead. No parent. Parents want their children to bury them.
That's right.
That's what a parent want. But the messenger said, he said Allah causes death to flee from the hypocrite.
That's right.
He said because death will take them out of their misery. So Allah keep on hitting this hypocrite with calamity after calamity.
Right.
We don't feel sorry for this hypocrite. This hypocrite getting exactly what he deserved.
Yes.
All the black people this hypocrite mislead. Because we say that to say, oh, bust that bitch. If Allah can chastise this hypocrite Louis Eugene, what you think Allah can do to this Jive turkey? This Jive turkey don't have the juice. If you take Louis Farrakhan, gotta give him his credit. If you take Old Testament Farrakhan, when the messenger was alive, and you compare him to Bus Stop Bishop, Farrakhan runs circles around him as the national representative to the message. Then you take this hypocrite as hypocrite Farrakhan. He still runs circles around Bus Stop Bishop.
Yes, sir.
As a that's a shame.
Yes, it is.
As a hypocrite, the little bitty piece of the teachings of the messenger that he used, he still runs circles around this old Jive turkey.
Right.
That's why I talk about Bus Stop Bishop like I do. I want it to be just like how you be watching them old family movies you used to watch. Like I forgot I did that. That's long time ago. You watching them old family movies. I don't know how long it's gonna take for Allah to disgrace him. I want us to be able to look back and say we ain't never went along with old Bus Stop Bishop. We was talking about Bus Stop Bishop when there was very few Muslims that would say anything about old Jive Turkey Bus Stop. That's why I love talking about Bus Stop Bishop. I really wish that one of these IUIC would call me like they called old Ben X. I really do. I want to have a talk with one of them IUIC fakes. Talk to me about the teachings of the message. I'm not saying it because I believe that I'm just so smart. I just believe the teachings of the messenger is invincible. When you look at this hypocrite, when this hypocrite was taking a little bitty piece of the messenger's teachings that he was using, in 1995, he was only using a little bit of the messenger's teachings. He wasn't using it all. He was just sprinkling the messenger's teachings in this garbage he was talking. But with the little bit of teachings he was sprinkling on the black man, he called 1 million black men to Washington, D.C. on a Tuesday. 2 million came. Imagine that. Look how invincible the teachings of the messenger is. Even when he's sprinkling it. Because the messenger says, he said what he teaches is so strong that you don't even gotta hear it all. He said the little bitty piece of it that you hear will force you to change. That's what he said.
Right.
He said you don't even gotta hear it. The little bitty piece that you hear, it'll force you to change. So this hypocrite, he thought he was successful, just like most people thought. What black man in America could call 2 million black men on a Tuesday? And then 2 million, and you say 1 million and 2 million men come. We thought like Bus Stop Bishop people think he's successful. I know I thought he was. That was an amazing feat. Nobody in the history of the black man ever did that before. But that was Allah showing us. Making us all like, watch this hypocrite. Watch what I do to this hypocrite.
Yes.
Let Farrakhan be more successful than any black leader in this country. But he let this hypocrite live long enough to see all his efforts just fall apart. It was a long time since 95. This hypocrite's still alive. A lot of them people who helped him is dead.
Yes.
But Allah won't let this hypocrite die. That's what we need to know. The messenger says Allah will allow the leaders of the opposition to try to carry out their plan they had against the message. So they let Farrakhan, he let Wallace carry it out. Take all my teachings, throw them away. Take all my followers, turn them to Orthodox Islam. Wallace failed. He did. This hypocrite Farrakhan thought he was slicker than Wallace. I'm going to go back to the teachings and flip it around. Allah let him do it. Allah let him attract most of the black people. But Allah letting this hypocrite see you too fail. So now we got this old senile 90-year-old hypocrite. Children died. Jabril died. Sister Ava died. It was a minister in temple number 7 died. All kind of people dying around this hypocrite. Watch and see. Because whoever else died around this hypocrite, that's just another example of the power of Master Farad Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
We got to be able to see it as believers. Because we need to be warned. Because we ain't just got it made ourselves. Messengers say, watch as well as pray. Ain't no spook. Watch as well as pray. He told us about hypocrites and disbelievers. He said, strive hard against them.
That's right.
He said, one of these people can bite your children. The messenger was talking about Wallace. The messenger of God. He getting guided by Allah. He was talking about how he wished he didn't send Wallace or let some teacher teach Wallace that taught him. So he wished he wouldn't have did that. This the messenger of God. So that shows you always got to be on guard. That's why we talk about this Jive turkey. That's why we continue to let all the believers know, like, no, he's a fake. He's a disbeliever.
Yes.
Because not only are we trying to help the believers, we trying to help ourselves. We trying to help our wives and our children and our husbands. We trying to help them all. So we see that it was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1963 that was all by himself teaching the black man complete separation.
Yes, sir.
So we got another example of the messenger. This comes from the California Eagle, February 11th, 1960. It says, all whites barred at Muslim meeting. Once again, this the messenger. Where was this Jive turkey at? Because another thing that we got to look at with this Jive turkey bus stop bishop, why they keep on sharing Muhammad Ali? Why can't they share Bivens?
Right.
They be talking about the Bible is a book written by Israelites for Israelites. They say God or Israelites is God's people. But every time this Jive turkey want to show a leader in the 60s that was on the right path, he talking about a Muslim.
That's right.
He talking about Muhammad Ali. He talking about Malcolm X. He even be sharing Farrakhan. Why we ain't never seen bus stop bishop share no picture or no lecture from Abba Bivens?
Yes, sir.
Why he don't share no newspaper article? Oh, Yaqua. Some of them other fakes they be talking about. Why you keep, if you feel like you went to the Nation of Islam and they taught lies there, why not to hell with them?
Right.
You talking about we worship a rock in Mecca, then find one of your people to share. But this all praise is due to Allah. But this no good Jive turkey. He a Jewish Jive turkey. That's what he is. So why he don't share his people? Why he can't go back to the 30s like we can? We got lessons from the 30s. Messenger had a final call to Islam in the 30s.
Yes.
But old Jive turkey bus stop bishop, he ain't got nothing. while he mud washing the messenger, but he's sharing Muhammad Ali. But let's go on even further with the messenger. This was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, February 11, 1960, 3 years before that other article we read. The messenger wasn't only talking, that he was practicing. White man can't even come to the meet. Old Jive turkey bus stop bishop lip. Y'all see Elijah Muhammad ain't letting no white people, he going hard on the white man. While they still small hats. When them small hats got out the synagogue, they was turning on the radio. They knew what time the messenger came on and they said, so all the small hats, while they sung at the bar mitzvah, the men in the room sitting listening to the message. All the small hat niggas, the niggas small hats. So let's go on even further. This next article has got to be my favorite article written about the messenger by a white man. This comes from the Los Angeles Times, May 5th, 1963. This was written by a white man named Robert S. Byrd. This was the first white man that I read in my research. I'm not saying he the only one. I'm talking about as far as my research goes. He the first one that called it, that I saw. He the first one that saw all these niggas is listening to Elijah Muhammad. Even though all these niggas ain't joining him, but he changing every last one of these niggas. The nigga ain't gonna say it, but he changing these niggas. Cause the messenger taught us. He says the white man knows us. Yes. He said that's one thing about the white man. He said the white man knows us, but we don't know him. So this white man, Robert S. Byrd, let's go see what Robert S. Byrd said about the messenger. He said Elijah Muhammad speaks and 20 million Negroes in America listen. So this old Jive turkey, bus stop bishop, his man Abba Bivens, he was listening. Old Yaquab, he was listening. He ain't saying he was listening, but he listened. Right. Because the white man see him listening. He said 20 million Negroes in America listen. Whenever Elijah Muhammad speaks. That's why old Jive turkey bus stop, Shane Muhammad Ali, he's still listening. Yes. Oh, no good Jive turkey bus stop. So it goes on to say, he said Muhammad is making the most persuasive statement on what is wrong in America. White America. His black Muslim propaganda is forcing all civil rights organizations and even Negro politicians to take another step towards harder, more extreme positions. That's what old Robert S. Byrd saw. He saw Abba Bivens. He saw Yaquab now. He saw them niggas small hats acting like you a Jew. No, you ain't no Jew. You a Muslim by nature. Right. But you a jealous little small hat. You ain't gonna give the messenger credit. You gonna act like some spooky Holy Spirit done talked to you in 1969. That's what the Jive turkey be saying. Right. Oh, Abba Bivens ain't heard the message. We don't share nothing from old Abba in 1960, 1962, 65, 67. But he was at home or somewhere he was at, some spook just told old Apple, it's time to put your small hat in the closet. You're a black Hebrew Israelite. Take your small hat off. Take your son's small hat off. Take off your prayer shawl. You're a black Hebrew Israelite now. All praise is due to Allah. That's what this jive turkey ain't telling. But old Robert S. Byrd, he saw all y'all. He said his black Muslim propaganda, he say it's causing them to. He say it's forcing them.
Yes.
This no good jive turkey. When you listen to Bus Stop Bishop now, because I've been selling papers for years. Been out there with my people, with our people. When I listen to Bus Stop now, I notice they don't call the black woman sister, they say sis. Go listen to old Jive Turkey Bus Stop. I'm like, sis? What's a sis? They say, hey sis, come here sis. This and that sis. No. You would still be a small head nigga if the messenger didn't force you to change.
Yes.
You would still be old small head jive turkey nigga. That's what he would be. They can tell the truth about us, we can tell the truth about them. Old jive turkey small head nigga. Look at Bus Stop. Look at how he looked like a savage.
Right.
Bus Stop looked like he don't comb his hair. I done sold plenty junkies papers. What would I look like to follow this junkie? He don't comb his hair. He got a germ-catching beard.
Yes.
What I look like to follow a fake like him?
Right.
He just a jive turkey. So Robert S. Byrd, he said his black Muslim propaganda is forcing all civil rights organizations and even Negro politicians to take another step towards harder, more extreme positions. Now, something real quick that we can look at, you can look at the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. They turned into the Black Panther Party. Angela Davis, Stokely Carmichael, H. Rat Brown, all of them was in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Doing what this jive turkey was doing, listening to the message. So they don't want to change. We got to remember that about what the messenger taught. They don't want to change. That's why they continue to be disbelievers, because if they had an open heart to what the messenger taught, they would follow him. Lowly jive turkeys.
Yes.
They love to tell it. But they see how the messenger's teachings changing the black man. So it's just like with the style. You change for the style. Whatever in style, you don't like it. You just changing for it. That's this jive turkey small hat. They didn't want to change. But they see how the messenger changing the black man. The messenger causing the black man to love himself. So all that small hat talk, it ain't attractive to the black man no more. So now it's forcing them to change. Now this is one of my most favorite parts of this article. This is what Robert S. Byrd said about the interview he had with the messenger. He said, "For never in my life have I heard the white race, my race, so unmercifully flayed, so thoroughly accused, so vividly denounced, so damned in judgment as from him during the preceding hour and a half." Now let's break down what he said. We can't just let that go like that. This devil said, never in my life Have I heard the white race, my race, so unmercifully played? What that mean when you say flayed? Flayed means to peel the skin off of a carcass or a corpse. Or it says whip or beat someone so harshly as to remove their skin. That's what this devil said, not when he heard this Jive turkey. Not when he heard Abba Bivens and Yaquab or one of these other small hats. He said, never in my life have I heard my race, the white race, so unmercifully flayed. Where was this old no good small hat Jive turkey? Y'all listen to how he talking to the white man. Small hat Jive turkey nigga. That's all he is. So let's go on even further. He says, so unmercifully flayed, so thoroughly accused, because the messenger taught us. He said that Master Farad Muhammad gave him the authority to pull the covers off the white man.
That's right.
But when you listen to how this devil who heard how the messenger was talking, he didn't say nothing about, oh, I was listening to him and he just pulled the covers off us. He said he peeled our skin off.
Yes, sir.
Unmercifully just ripped our skin right off our body. That's how he described it. To the messenger and to us, we like, yo, we just pulling the covers off. Sometimes when you wake your kids up, you just pull, you love your kid, you just pull your covers off. Like, hey, it's time to get up. That's what we felt like the messenger was saying, just pulling the cover. This devil say, no, he ripped our skin off unmercifully. That was the message.
Yes.
But all these small hats and the rest of these fakes, they really hate that the messenger doing that to the white man. Because they love him. They don't want to accept what the messenger said, so they start taking what the messenger said and adding it to their garbage. But let's go on even further. Because we want to talk about, just for a second, what the messenger said, how he was prophesied to do what he doing. When you see this old no good Jive turkey, bus stop bishop, copying off the messenger, that's what he's supposed to do. Because the Bible prophesied the messenger doing exactly what he doing. Let's go to, this comes from the July 29th, 1966, Muhammad Speaks. The title of the article is called, Jesus Was Only a Prophet. This is what the messenger said. He says the 18th verse of the first chapter of Revelations of St. John reads like this. I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. We think, being spook worshipers, that's talking about Jesus. That's talking about Jesus dying and Jesus rising again. But the white man, not the black man, because this Jive turkey bus stop bishop say that this is a book written by a black man, King James. A book written for Israelites by Israelites. No. This is a book written by the white man. Right. To hide the truth from the black man. That's right. So they make you think everything talking about Jesus of 2,000 years ago who did. But it ain't talking about Jesus. This talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Let's go with what the messenger said. He says this does not refer now to the God, but refers to one of the mentally dead Negroes. Because nobody comes back from a physical death. I don't care how much you call yourself the small hats united in Christ. You just a small hat jealous little nigga.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what you is. The small hats united in Christ.
Yes, sir.
But Jesus died 2,000 years ago. Messenger said we don't return from a physical death.
Right.
He said after we go to the ground, we go back. We go back and the maggots in the earth just take us over.
That's right.
We go back where we came from. So the messenger told us that when the Bible talks about a person being dead, it's talking about the black man. But it's not talking about us being mentally dead. I mean, being physically dead. It's talking about us being mentally dead.
That's right.
So he goes on to say, he says this does not refer now to the God, but refers to one of the mentally dead Negroes who had been dead to the knowledge of truth and self and God, and now has been brought to life or knowledge and has now been given authority over mental death in these words, and have the keys of hell and of death. Just talking about the message. Now let's slowly break it down. The verse says, it says, I am he that liveth and was dead. It's not talking about a physical death. It's talking about mental death. It's not talking about something that happened 2,000 years ago. It's a prophecy that's what's happening now. This is a prophecy of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
It said I was mentally dead, but now I'm alive. Now I got the key to all of their mental death. I got the key. That's why this Jive turkey small hat, he still got to share Muhammad Ali. He talk all he want to talk against the message. But the messenger got the key. The messenger is the one that forced Muhammad Ali to change. He forced Malcolm X to change.
Right.
He forced Farrakhan to change.
Right.
He forced 20 million black people to change.
Yes, sir.
So when it's talking about I was dead, it's not talking about a physical death. It's talking about mental death. So then it goes on to say, it says, and now has been brought to life or knowledge, and has now been given authority over mental death in these words, and have the keys of hell and of death. It says the keys mean authority and wisdom of how to execute the authority. Of hell means the condition of the people of his in hell under a people who have killed them mentally. This key, he says, and I quote, and of death does not mean the natural, literal death that comes to everyone. But it means that this key of authority and enlightenment would destroy the death of ignorance and mental death of the people of God.
Yes, sir.
That's why this white man, who know the black man, he's saying Elijah Muhammad got the key. But he ain't saying it in them words. The way he said it is, Elijah Muhammad speaks, and 20 million Negroes listen. He's saying he got the key,
Right.
but he ain't saying it in them words. He said Muhammad is making the most persuasive statements on what's wrong with America, not the small hat. He's still making the most persuasive statement. That's why bus stop bishops still share Muhammad Ali. This fake still be trying to talk about Islam was forced on the black man. And we gonna talk more about that next week. because that's too much to bring all at once. But let's keep on going with the message. It goes on to say, it says, and I quote, and of death does not mean the natural literal death that comes to everyone, but it means that this key of authority and enlightenment would destroy the death of ignorance and mental death of the people of God in hell. Not a burning literal fire hell, as the reader may think, but a hell of a condition of life, being deprived of the essential things of life. That's what it's talking about. So the Bible was not written by a black King James. The Bible was written by a white King James. He wasn't writing it for Israelites. He was writing it to hide the truth from the black man.
Yes, sir.
So he made the black man believe that Jesus of 2,000 years ago was coming back. That's like if you want an apple. You ain't just gonna go outside and get an apple that grow today. You waiting on an apple that come back from 2,000 years ago. You got all these apples and oranges and pears and grapes that's growing today. But you say, I'm waiting on that apple that was here 2,000 years ago. That's the apple I want. I don't want one of these apples that's growing today. I want an apple that was here 2,000 years ago. That's the black man. Mentally dead.
Yes, sir.
God got people that's growing and living every generation. He ain't got to wait 2,000 years for his son, quote unquote, to go up into heaven. Then come back down to earth to do what he can have somebody that's already born on the earth to do.
Right.
So let's go on even further with the message. Because I wanted to show you how these people was forced to change. One of the main people I want to show who was forced to change was Dr. Martin Luther King. He was one of them ones who was forced to change. He didn't want to change now. He was forced to change. Because this is the August 29th, 1959 Pittsburgh Carrier. It says Dr. King Keating Blast Muslim Group. It says the Reverend Martin Luther King, and this is from the Pittsburgh Carrier. It says the Reverend Martin Luther King addressing the National Bar Association in Milwaukee and Senator Kenneth B. Keating, New York Republican in the U.S. Senate, both blast the group of American Negroes in the U.S., which Dr. King says preaches black supremacy. And Senator Keating says spreads anti-Jewish propaganda. You hear what the Muslims talking about them Jews? They wasn't talking about Jews. Go and find us some anti-Semitic statements from these black small hats in the 60s. Because if you were saying anything anti-Semitic about a Jew, they about to tell you. Ain't no certain black people we about to say they anti-Semitic, but these group anti-Semitic and we ain't saying nothing. So show us the black small hats that this Jive Turkey bus stop bishop come from in the 60s teaching an anti-Semitic doctrine. You won't find one. So this is what Dr. King said. It says he cited the Negro Muslim movement, which originated in New York, as one of the hate groups arising in our midst, which would preach a doctrine of black supremacy. He says black supremacy is as bad as white supremacy, he continued. So in 1959, he was talking about messenger teach black supremacy. Black supremacy, he said, is just as bad as white supremacy. This is what he said. This what Bus Stop Bishop and them was agreeing with in 59. Like, yeah, listen to what Dr. King telling the Muslims. But then you got 1967, 68. Dr. King saying, I'm black and I'm proud. Praise to Allah. It ain't so much black supremacy now. Let's listen to what Dr. King said. He said, I come here tonight and plead with you. Believe in yourself. And believe that you're somebody. As I said to a group last night, nobody else can do this for us. No document can do this for us. No Lincoln and Emancipation Proclamation can do this for us. No Kennedy and Johnson and Civil Rights Bill can do this for us. If the Negro is to be free, he must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with the pen and ink of self-assertive manhood, his own Emancipation Proclamation. He ain't say, I heard Elijah Muhammad say, just like Bus Stop Bishop ain't gonna say, this old no good small hat jive turkey. He ain't gonna say, we changed because we heard Elijah Muhammad. Right. Just like Dr. King didn't say. Because remember, it forced them to change. Those who changed on their own and loved it, followed the message. That's right. Those who hated it, those who didn't like to hear what the messenger said, but they saw the black man change. They saw the black man saying, I'm black and I'm proud. Now he say, I can't keep on talking that same old Negro integration stuff no more. So now he gonna say, I come here tonight. Not I heard from the message, but I come here tonight to plead with you. Believe in yourself. That's what the messenger taught. But let's go on with what he said. He said, don't let anybody take your manhood. Be proud of our heritage. But a few years ago, you were saying black supremacy is just as bad as white supremacy. Now you talking about believe in yourself. Look, be proud of our heritage. As somebody said earlier tonight, we don't have anything to be ashamed of. Somebody told a lie one day. They couched it in language. They made everything black, ugly, and evil. Look in your dictionary and see the synonyms of the word black. This what just like Bus Stop Bishop, they sitting there listening to the... You hear what he's saying? Nah, I come here tonight to plead with you. Look in the dictionary. This is what it say about black. That's what the messenger taught. Right. You even hear Malcolm X talking about the dictionary because the messenger taught him. Yes. But let's go on with Dr. King. He said they made everything black, ugly, and evil. Look in your dictionary and see the synonyms of the word black. It's always something degrading, low and sinister. Look at the word white. It always something pure, high, and clean. Well, I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here would cry out. Yes, I'm black. I'm proud of it. I'm black and I'm beautiful. So now he's telling the black man, everything that's talking about the white man in the dictionary, talking about some high and mighty. But you were saying that black supremacy is just as bad as white supremacy. What happened? Why you didn't come there and tell the people, yo, I was listening to Elijah Muhammad. I used to think what he was saying was black supremacy, which it is. But anyway, he was right. The black man needs some black supremacy. That's right. We need to live under some black supremacy.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with black supremacy.
That's right.
We've been living under black supremacy for 76 trillion years. Ain't nothing wrong with black supremacy. Why he didn't say that? But he gonna make the people think he just got some new idea. But let's talk about, to wrap it up, because I want to end it with at least one fighting article. This comes from the Pittsburgh Carrier, September 12th, 1959. This from a sister who wrote in when she heard Dr. King speaking against the message. We just want to end it on something that's talking about fighting for the message. This lady who wrote the article, her name is Miss Dunnigan. She said the story had no more than hit the streets when this writer received a letter from Chicago signed by Thelma X, lambasting Dr. King and Senator Keaton. No mention of Thurgood. So she said no sooner than this hit the street, I got a letter from this Thelma X, lambasting Dr. King and this Keaton. But with this hypocrite, Louis Eugene, when we gonna hear some Muslims lambast, bust our bishop?
Right.
When we gonna hear some Muslims that say, soon as what he said hit the streets, all these Muslim ministers start lambasting his face?
Yes, sir.
But no, we want to have a sit down with IUIC. I just wanted to end it on that note. Because the sister in her article, she said, this is not the first time this column has been challenged by followers of Mr. Muhammad. That wasn't the first time. Every time you go to the Pittsburgh Carrier or anything, the Messenger, during that time, if it was anything, any article, any person, any group that said something about the Messenger, no sooner than it hit the streets, either you heard they got their head whooped or some Muslims took the truth and was fighting them. That's the history of the Messenger.
Yes.
Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. So I leave you as I came in the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Enjoying the show? Help keep us on the air. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033 to make a donation.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Soul Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live. The alone that we serve and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path of those upon whom thou spell thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is heard to be served, worship or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.